Hmm. Testing, testing. Everything's working. Okay. I'm back. It's Monday, and so it's time to do the jazz. You know, I feel weird saying the name. It's time to listen to some jazz and play some games and talk about probably what happened this week. And surprisingly, for me, I've actually done stuff. I know, I'm as surprised as you. So yeah, just gonna get one thing set up before we start. We're gonna be playing Disfigure again. Not just because I really like Disfigure, but also because there's been a new update. New update, new weapon, new me? Probably not. But let's see. So let's just get straight onto it. So as you can see, we have this one here. I've got a bit of money to get this. Oh, is this new? I like that. Anyway, huge amounts of bullet damage, as you could probably expect from something like this. The bullets are always unable to pierce enemies. Interesting. See, this implies to me that I don't want to be... Because the thing is with a lot of weapons, is I never know if I'm supposed to... with a high damage gun, am I supposed to stack damage, like fire rate, to counteract that? Or am I supposed to increase the damage of the actual weapon? But I think with this one, I need to increase my fire rate, or I need to split the bullets. I think that's the only options I have. But yeah, this is new. A new update came out and it redid 2 of the skill trees and also added this. Alright, let's see how this works. Okay, so the fire rate's not too bad. Oh, they're coloured! Some of them are coloured as well! Oh, I'm so glad he's still adding stuff to this game. Because, I mean, I feel like... This is good. I like this. So something like shrapnel wouldn't be bad because it's 25% damage, but that doesn't matter because I'm still doing a ton. I wonder if it's something I've clicked, but I can't seem to toggle between the 2 views now. Instead, what it is I hold the button and it does it. It could be a problem with my mouse though. I've been having some problems with my general keyboard and mouse. Oh, I do really like this art, I will say. Ricochet bullets? That doesn't seem very good for this. I don't think damage... I'm gonna give this a reroll. Yeah, the art is noticeably improved. From ones that just didn't have any art to having actual custom art to it now being coloured. It's such a huge difference. Fire rate. Let's get fire rate up. Oh, it takes 3 shots. Maybe I do need to be buffing my damage. Oh, thank you for the follow. Hey. It's going good. It's going good. How are you doing? I'm gonna get some bullet damage. I'm kind of scared that I can't kill these instantly. Oh, it's a single player game. Sadly, I'd love it if it wasn't. A lot of games like this, a lot of the survivor like games are one player. Yeah, I don't know really know what to call this genre, but most people call it, yeah, most people call it after Vampire Survivors, which is the most popular of it. Games I play. Well, on Wednesdays I play Rogue Trader, which is a long form CRPG set in the Warhammer 40k universe. I don't think there is any multiplayer sort of survival like games, at least not any that are popular. And other than that, I play some MMORPGs, but not really on stream. Oh, is this a new one? I think this is a new level up. But yeah, I play some MMORPGs. I play almost every RPG that there is, except for the Final Fantasies, weirdly. Yeah, I think it's a new one. I thought they reworked two of the skill trees, but I think they might have added two new ones. I'll do that after I've done my stream. So it will be a while, but I will. Final Fantasy X. I've never played that. Cool. I'll follow back after I've done my stream. Ah, I think I went for the wrong strategy here. I think I should have instead gone for more fire rate. Sorry about that. I just had to reply. I'm sorry. It's happened. People coming into my chat and saying that it's happened so often. I'm really not interested. I'm sorry. I hope you can understand. I do this as a hobby, and I don't particularly want any sort of artwork. But thank you for asking at the very least. But it's just I don't really need it. I'm not really interested. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to come across as mean or anything. It's just it has. Let's just say you're not the first person that's come into the stream and asked about it, and but thank you for asking. I appreciate you wanting to do that. Is Final Fantasy X the one that they talk about chaos a lot? Because I remember hearing stuff about that. Yeah, I understand about the whole making it look professional, but at the end of the day, I've come into this not really to do it as a profession, but instead to do it as a hobby. But thank you anyway. Thank you anyway. I'm doing this for A couple of reasons. To do it as a hobby because I actually find it fun, and to sort of get my confidence talking to people I don't know, and none of those I need to have a incredibly professional thing. I've got some nice overlays that they give out for free, and they'll probably be fine for me, if I'm being completely honest. Have a great day as well. I'm sorry if anything I said came across as offensive, because I do worry that I'm a bit too straight with these things. Ooh, this is a good one. Yeah, I'm just not very good at dealing with the hard mode. It's really blimmin' getting on my nerves that I can't deal with it, but I think it's just the difference between the first map and the second. Yeah, it's not just that though. This second area is just hard. I think the difference between the first map and the second map is that I think you need to know a lot more about what builds are good for each of the weapons. And I think to a certain extent I just don't know that. I feel like I can't shoot this guy. Oh no, you gotta shoot his legs. Okay. Anyway, let's see. What did I do since I've last done this stream? So I watched Has Been Hotel, as you can probably expect from as you probably see from my Twitter. Blimmin' really freaking good. Every song is in my head. It's incredible. I don't know how they did it. And I know there's a bit of controversy around. Yeah, I'd listen to that song on repeat. I know there's a bit of controversy about, and that's the other one I listened to on repeat. There's some controversy about them getting rid of a load of the actors that were on the pilot, but I don't know. It doesn't change the fact that it was really good. I'm gonna try it on the other map, just to see if I can get a hang of it. Because I want to be making it... at least somewhere with it. But yeah, I think the story's okay. I don't know if I've been connecting to it too much. A couple of the characters, like Poison and... Is it Poison? No, Angel Dust. She sings Poison. I've liked seeing the character arc of. But overall, I mean, I understand why she's like it, but I just can't really get into the main character. Yeah, those two as a pair is not a pair I expected to like really like, but they do work together very well. Yeah, not as a ship, no. Yeah, I am interested to see if they're gonna show off her father of the main character, or if they're just gonna leave that for later. I'm hoping they show him off. It feels like it would be a bit annoying if he wasn't in it. I think she's sort of the weakest. I'd say she's maybe the second weakest character Her girlfriend, I don't really understand in general, like, her shtick. Like, her song, like, her part in the song was the worst part of the song. Her motivations don't... I understand the motivation of, I'm trying to help my girlfriend complete her task. But it doesn't come across as interesting to me. It comes across more as like, yeah, sure, that's one part of your character, but there's no... What's this? Oh, it just looks different. It's the same ability. It's a cool part of your character, but like, what else is there? You know? And so, yeah, I think the main character and her girlfriend are probably the weakest. I think all the villains have come across as like really good in their own way. The three V's, they've come across as great villains. I think probably the weakest is the Moth guy, and not to say he's bad. I just think like he's a bit more one note than the others. Like with the, is it Veronica? With Veronica, it seems like she's obviously got more to her than what you first see. Same with the TV guy, but with the Moth, I just don't really see anything more with his character. He just comes across as like they've taken a pimp and they've decided that the pimp is going to be one of the villains. Which is fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I think compared to the other two, and compared to really... They're really the only villains at this point, but like, compared to the other two Vs, I think he comes across as the weakest. At least for me. And other than that, we've seen the Snake guy. He's quite fun as like a comic relief. The radio dude, who I think is called Alistair? I think it begins with an A. He, God, the ones that are coloured, the ones that are like new art and have been coloured in, just make me want to choose them, even if they're not good. But yeah, Alistair, the radio dude, he's quite fun. I think he comes across as an interesting, and like you want to know like where he's been for so long. I've got a feeling it's probably going to be something along the lines of him getting captured. I wouldn't be surprised by angels or something. I think there's going to be a moment of weakness that we see with him that is going to be shown off, because at this point he's coming across as like this like immortal, like incredibly powerful person. And I think to a certain extent they're going to show off that he's not that. Like, there is some weakness there. Or else the character doesn't really have much going for it. It'd be interesting to see if they go the angle of like he is a relic. Like they sort of hinted it a bit in the. They hinted it a bit in the Wrestler song, but just in that council meeting where they're like, you are too stuck in the past, we're the future kind of stuff. I'd be interested to see if that actually comes into play. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to have some big importance, and I think that's going to be his moment of weakness. I think that's where we're going to see more of his character than just being this incredibly powerful person who's watching over the watching over the hotel just for fun. I refuse to believe he went on a vacation. I think he's gone and done something else. Either being captured, which I think is probably what's gonna happen, or maybe he had like a special mission or something that he was given. I wouldn't also be surprised if it's one of those things where, because he's so old and powerful, that maybe he has some dealings with the main character's mother, Lilith, and having a whole thing where like Lilith, the reason he's there isn't because he just wants to watch them fail, it's because Lilith said, "Could you protect my daughter, please?" You know, that kind of thing. I could see happening. He is recent, relatively, but relative for an overlord, right? Which is still old for an average demon. I mean, you can sort of see by like what they are wearing and their sort of their aesthetic when they died, right? He probably died at the height of radio. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what happens with him. I think he's fine. I think the Snake Dude's great comic relief. They haven't done much with the one-eyed lady, who just seems like she's an absolute, like, she just loves pain. But I'm sure they'll do something interesting with that. Ooh, Ricochet. Wait 2 seconds before shooting for double damage. Yeah, the insane gremlin. Shooting an enemy will temporarily increase your fire rate by when a shot is missed. I always miss. I'm taking that. What does ricochet means if I hit, it bounces. Okay, this is much better. But yeah, that show has been great. I mean, I hope it does well, and I think Prime Video's been doing pretty well at coming out with like proper bangers of like animations. You know, like Invincible. Was Castlevania from Prime, or is that Netflix? Either way, Invincible did really well. So I'm hoping. Is it Netflix? Damn. Okay. Well, not as many as I actually thought they did, but like they've had a decent running and like interesting stuff. I'm glad we're seeing more and more cartoons that are like quite obviously not made for kids, right? Like ones that realize that you can do pretty brutal stuff. That reminds me, one of the things I need to watch that I think I think it's on Netflix, is the dude who made One Piece, Oda, has come out with like a one-shot movie about a kind of like a prequel to One Piece, I think, but set like far enough in the past that it has almost no relevance to the story. But I need to give that a shot when I get the chance. Yeah, why not? Boost the sentry. Yeah, sure. I'm up for that. When I'm not on a day where I'm streaming. I also don't know how long it is, but I imagine it's not that long. Damn. Well, I got to a point where I was not killing those fast enough, and I couldn't dodge. But what can you do in that situation? But yeah, Hazbin Hotel is really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to watching. I don't know when it comes out. I'm assuming. I don't know when the new episodes of Hazbin Hotel come out, but I look forward to watching them. Thank you for the encouragement. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's been quite fun. I played. Also, since Monday, I played the game that I'm sure, if you're on Twitter or if you've watched any. Oh, Saturday. That's perfect. If you've watched any Twitch streams in the past, like week or so, you'll know about this. Oh, thank you for the follow. I played some of, what is it, Pal World or whatever it's called. That game, I mean, is it the most polished game ever? No. Does it have a pretty damn cool concept and it does it pretty well? Yeah, it does. And as somebody who really likes, really likes Pokemon, big fan of Pokemon, taking Pokemon and going, how about we do something in this similar vein, but in a completely different sort of genre and a different sort of idea, and take the parts that are like not really brought up too much but are definitely a part of Pokemon, where it's like, yeah, you are fighting them and they are fainting, and that you're using them as like, you know, blimmin' like you do like in like cockfighting and stuff, right? You are doing that in Pokemon, and just taking that a step further and just going, they are just your servants now, I think is a really cool idea. And yeah, the game's real fun. I mean, I've said it before. Well, you know what I mean, right? That would be the real life equivalent of what they do in Pokemon. Ooh, I forgot I could move this. That's a relatively new thing as well. But yeah, I played some of Pal World. I think it helps that sort of format doesn't necessarily need to be polished. I mean, there's been games in that sort of format that have never come out of early access and have had like half-arsed mechanics and have made so much money. Do you see that, like, one enemy that's literally about to hit me as soon as I come out of this? Nice. But yeah, it helps that it's in a genre that doesn't need to be polished, but it's doing it's doing pretty damn well. And I'm so surprised that it's weird, because Microsoft both are like ahead of the game in what they do, and then also behind the game, because consistently, yeah, that's true. I don't even really notice the assets, which is weird because I've played enough games to know when they're using an asset. If they're using like the ones most people use. But the thing is that Microsoft have sort of dropped the ball while also being ahead of the game, because they've got Pal World on their blimmin' on the Game Pass, right? So you can play it there for free, but then the version's bad. Like, the version isn't the most updated version. But then I think about it more, and I'm like, is that a problem with Microsoft, or is that a problem with companies not just considering it like second, sort of like, you know, like second class to Steam, and then just not updating it? Like, is that why they're doing that? Like, is it maybe not a Microsoft problem, but instead a problem with people just always considering it second fiddle to Steam, which in fairness it is. But I'm like, I just can't help but thinking like, it's more managed. Okay. Because I was like, to me, it doesn't feel like it would be particularly hard to press another button. I'm obviously grossly simplifying this, but how hard would it have been to make sure that you ship out an update to 2 different platforms, right? I can't imagine it being particularly more challenging than, say, you know, it's not like you have to reprogram anything, I don't think. There's no specific, like, it's not like you're bringing it to console or anything. It's not a completely new system. It's just a different avenue to get your game. And so I thought it couldn't just be... I thought there must be something else with that. But I mean, it's a shame that that's a thing, and it's also a shame that by that being a thing, it means you can't play with people who have Steam. Because I think, honestly, I would have probably... I definitely would be playing with more people if it could cross-play with Steam. And it's really hard for me to, like, in my mind, because I've got the money to buy it on Steam as well, but in my mind it's hard to sort of, like, come out with like the I'm trying to word this correctly. It's hard in my mind to say, I tell you what, I'm gonna buy this even though I already have it. Okay, that was just me walking into the actual thing. But like, I can't, in my head, I can't like get over the fact that I already have the game, and I'd be paying whatever the pay is for that game. Like, I think like what, like 30 quid, which admittedly is pretty cheap for a game nowadays. For a game that I already have, you know? I'm paying 30 quid to play, just have it on a more popular platform so I can play it with my friends. 22 quid, that's even better, right? Like, that's completely reasonable in terms of, like, prices. Do I lower my fire rate and just increase my damage? I think that's the way I gotta go. I think I've made a problem here of I've sort of focused into stuff that needs me to have high fire rate and stuff that needs me to have high damage, and they normally come at the expense of the other one. But yeah, as I was saying, like, it's hard for me to, like, come to terms with buying it again, which is a shame because I think it's really good, and the majority of my friends do have it on Steam. But yeah, I played a bit of that. I don't think I made it particularly far. I think that's also a thing that I think is worth noting about that game, is for an early access game, it does have a lot of content. Like, I was playing it for, I'd say, a couple days, and this was like as a group of 2, and there was still a lot of stuff there. Like the technology level and stuff, there was a lot of stuff with that. There's a heck of a lot of pals in the game. Like, not as much as, say, Pokemon originally had, but close to it. And the fact that a company like that is... I think they've had one other game before this that I know of. Like, they're not a completely new company, but... I'm going to take this again. I think this is my favourite. Just because of the visual. But yeah, they're not a new company, but like to be able to do that sort of level of designs, it's pretty good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the partner skills having like not they're not all completely unique, obviously, but they're all unique enough that it's impressive to do. Like even already, I've seen multiple whose partner skill is you can ride the animal, which is cool. It's a really cool thing to have. It changes up how you can fight as well. But like, obviously they're not all unique, but that's fine. Like that would have been an insane ask to do. And they all look fine as well. Like it's obvious. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That mount is incredible. I wish because they've occasionally done this before. I wish this changed to something else if you can't get the pace. Yeah, I thought about that before, like just having like five of them out constantly shooting. I just don't think they're actually that good. Like you get the occasional shot, but like at the end of the day, like you're losing out on the the tank of your group, which is your Pokemon. Like they go out there, they effectively just take the aggro, or like put a status effect on them. I feel like this is good. So yeah, like that game, really, really fun, really, really fun. What's hilarious about that game is, I swear that like, I'm thinking like maybe 3 years ago, I saw a trailer for that game. It was always like, what if Pokemon with guns? And they would always show that, and it would always be that um, yellow dude. It would always been that yellow, the first boss you deal with, which is like a yellow cat with black stripes. It'd always be that, and I'd constantly see it. And it's insane to me that like it's now finally like out so you can play it. Because I assumed it was one of those ones that would always stay as a trailer. But yeah, that's been fun. You can sort of see now why I was saying that the second map is noticeably harder. Because I went from never really making it back past the first area to being in a situation now where I'm absolutely dominating. Yeah, and this is don't get me wrong. This isn't because I've suddenly gained a huge proficiency with this gun. It's notable that it is harder on that second map. So it seems like the two new skills are the dude you put down that's a sentry and the ricochet ability, which I think the ricochet ability is so fun to use. I love this. Another way to do like crowd control with just a high powered high damaged weapon with low fire rate seems great. Huge fan of that. But yeah, That game has been really fun. I played that for a bit. Other than that, the only real thing that's happened since the last one of these was I've been watching more and more of the Goblins of Io series, um, which I had started the previous week, and it has grown on me a lot. I think what's actually quite interesting about it is before I thought it was a bit jarring by the sheer amount of chaos it had. I don't like that it's connecting to chat. This feels like... I don't know if my stream briefly just went down or not. But my connection to the chat briefly went off, which was a bit weird. Anyway, as I was saying, like, I've been watching more of the Goblins of Io, and it has been really fun. To the point where they're doing a bit of a crossover with another one of the IO groups at the moment. And in comparison to the other group, I just think this group is so much better. Like, the aesthetic, it just feels so much... It's so chaotic, right? It's incredibly chaotic, and you have to go into it and watch the first couple of episodes realizing that it's so chaotic. After a bit, one of the major character that's like the most chaotic goes through a character change and isn't as chaotic, which I think was a huge plus for the show, for the series. But yeah, it's really fun. It's fun seeing these absolute, like, incredibly dumb goblins being thrusted into a situation where they are part of like a world, a universe-ending blimmin' threat, right? And they're just going around like doing what they would normally do as a goblin, as these low intelligence, like, only out for power, money grubbing kind of goblins. In a situation where, like, the world is under threat. Like, the whole universe, and everyone's fighting to sort of save that, and, like, every other, like... This crossover is like the two other long-standing series that he was doing at this point in World of Io. And both of the other ones have, like... They got together, they writ out a contract about what they were going to do. They started, like, doing missions to weaken the boss. Like, they're properly full speed ahead starting with that, right? And then the goblins are instead just going like, how much money do you have? And then we'll say how much we want to actually help you. And it's just so hilarious to see, like... I think to a certain extent, when you're watching people play these games, a lot of people default to, yeah, we may be dicks, but, like, if the world's ending, we're gonna, like, gang together and work together, right? If the world's ending, it's a whole other deal, and we'll actually stop being dicks, and we'll still save the world. Like, if most adventuring parties were put in a situation where, like, this person comes up to them and says, we need your help to save the world, they'd immediately go, sure, and come and watch, right? Or come and, like, see what's happening. Their whole thing is like, oh, I don't trust them, I want to get some money out of them. They don't trust anybody. And they're so chaotic. Honestly, it's kind of been a problem because I've been watching it at work, like, as a podcast, and I've been laughing too much. Like, people have been worried about me because I've been trying to hide that I'm laughing, and so all they see is, like, my face go red as I'm laughing, and they're just like, okay, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. Every enemy killed with a bullet will trigger wildfire. Ooh. Shooting an enemy below 50% health will instantly kill it. Shoot a burst of 6 bullets. I want this. Because even though I haven't gone wildfire, I feel like having it where every attack is wildfire seems decent. Wait, did I... Hold on a second. What happened to my jazz music? It just stopped? Oh. Well, sorry about that. That's literally half of the blooming premise of this stream and I completely forgot it. I just got too into talking. But yeah, it's been really fun to watch, and honestly, it was nearing the end of last year. I was getting to this point where I was just so bored. Like, my job is, it's perfectly fine. It's like it's all I could really ask for in terms of a job, because it's a job that isn't particularly hard, doesn't ask of me anything I can't do, and you know the pay is enough that I can live. I'm not going to say it's good pay, but it's enough that I can live. And have luxuries and stuff, right? But god damn is it boring. When you're given a task that's like... You're put on the task and it's blimmin' like, okay, you're on this task until for like several months, like for half a year, right? When that happens, god damn, like it on one hand you're like, cool, I feel like I know what I'm doing every day now from like now until blimmin' June, right? Which there is some, honest to God, like, there's some like safety and like, I just walked into that one. There is some safety to that, right? But gosh darn, does it get on your nerves when you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, right? Like week on week. And so having this stream to just be like, sorry, having this like series to just be like, this is what I put on in the background and it makes the day go faster. Now I can, half of my brain goes to listening to that, and so the other half of my brain can sort of not really think about the fact that it's actually working. And it has helped a lot. So yeah, I'm really, I'm in that situation where I'm really happy because I've got, it may not, I've got a lot of episodes left of Goblins, right? I think it's like 60 or maybe 55 episodes in total, and I've only gotten to like episode 14 or something. And then I've got his whole back catalogue after that. Now, admittedly, I've met some of them in the crossovers that I would be watching a series of, and I didn't instantly like the characters, which isn't a great sign, but they might grow on me. I mean, a couple of characters in Goblins grew on me. I think the only complaint I have about it is sometimes they take the chaos too far, and it affects the fact that it means that they don't actually have a plot. Yeah, it might be me just getting to know them, right? I think my only complaints about Goblins is, yeah, that I don't feel like the plot really becomes... The overarching story, there isn't really one at this point, and we're 14 episodes in, you're kind of hoping that for there to be some story element. And then my only other complaint is there is I'd say one person in that, which is a shame because I really like this person's actual like YouTube stuff, that it's quite obviously going into it knowing nothing, which is fine, but not learning anything. Like, not to the point where it's quite obvious that they're actively like not really. At least it looks like to me like they're not coming into it wanting to learn anything. And they're really funny, don't get me wrong. It just, I don't know, it slightly gets on my nerves when they ask the exact same thing that they ask every blimmin' other. Killing an enemy while increases the damage, okay. They ask the exact same thing that they asked like a million times in every other episode. And it's like, at this point, come on, you must know about what's happening here. It's like, I feel like the average person would have at least figured it out by the fourth or fifth time you've asked about it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, there are some things that no matter how many times people tell me, because I'll only ever do them once, maybe like every couple weeks, I have to ask about it every blimmin' time. So I could see maybe there being a situation like that, but it gets on my nerves slightly every time it happens. But yeah, I've been having fun watching that. I've been kind of like, I've been in that situation a couple of times actually when I've not been streaming, where I've been like, I should probably do a stream. Like, having that itch to do a stream, which has been, I kind of see as like a positive situation. It's just I've got to get over that sort of hump of like, I'm in that situation where I'm like, oh, I really want to, oh well, I did a lot better that time. I'm in that situation where I really want to stream, but then I sort of stop myself because even that bit's like, and this is gonna sound mean, but even that bit's too much effort for me a couple of times. It's why I have to put a schedule here, because I know that if I don't have a schedule, I will just procrastinate and not do it. But yeah, I've been really, I've said this almost every Monday stream I've done, but I am glad I added this one, because I think this one is a lot more open for people to join and sort of just chill, you know? But we'll see if it continues like that. I hope it does. And I will play games other than Blimmin' Hearthstone and this. I was planning on playing something else other than this, until I saw that there was a new update for this, and I just kind of had to. I was like, I have to play that, and if I'm gonna play that, I may as well play it on stream, right? At least that's my thinking. But yeah, I probably will play something else. I'll maybe play some Loop Hero. I quite like that game as a casual game. We'll see. We'll see what what I'm feeling like on the day. Because the whole point of this stream is it's something that it's like what I would be playing if I wasn't streaming, right? And I would be playing this because I'd be like, oh cool, there's a new weapon, and it's something I could have like a stream on in the background while doing. And I'd be playing Hearthstone because, again, same thing. We're effectively playing games that I believe are these are my second monitor games. These are the games that I play while watching videos. And honestly, yeah, comfort games is the right word probably. But yeah, honestly, I've been having a lot of fun playing them. It's been a great time. I'll tell you what else is big news. One of my friends who started this whole like streaming thing with me just hit blimmin' 50 follows. I reposted it. It's incredible. I'm so happy for him. He's putting a lot of work as well. I think that's the biggest thing that like, yeah, exactly. Blimmin' 50 followers. That's a huge milestone, and he's putting so much work. Commenting on like so many of these like I don't know what you call them, these things where you tag yourself and you like, you know, to get your name out there. He does so many of those. He's constantly replying to people, getting his name out. He's consistently not just playing for longer, but for doing more streams than I'm doing. Like he's going above and beyond to get himself overlays and like a model to like an avatar for himself. He's doing so much, and it's just good to see that like his work, it's, you know, it's bearing fruit. You know, it's actually in a situation where him doing all of that, you know, it's got a tangible like blimmin' like good thing that's happened from it. Because like there's many people who do stuff like that and simply nothing comes of it, because that's just how the world works. And just to see that something has come from it is just great. It's great to see. I'm very much hoping that this is the catalyst for him to go to even bigger things. I think I saw the thread that he was that he replied to, and I'm hoping that what one of them said, which was let's get you to 100, is actually true, and they get him to 100, because that would be incredible. I mean, honestly, even without that, at the rate he's going, he probably is going to make it like definitely by the end of this year. Well, I don't know if it is that one that got him, but it was a one that was like, what are your goals for this year? And he said his goal was to get to 50, and there was it got a decent amount of people like liking and like replying to it, and so I kind of just assumed that it was like, and a couple of them were saying, I followed you, let's get you to like 100 and stuff. So I was like, I think that might be the one that helped. And I have to say, after the stream, I'll see if I can find it. But I'm not very good at searching for stuff on X. It's Twitter, isn't it? But I'm not very good at searching on X for stuff. So I don't know if I can find it again. I was just randomly scrolling, and I think that was what it was. But yeah, really proud of the guy. It's I'm so happy that he's getting some stuff. I can't see bullets occasionally. And he's honestly, because I occasionally drop into his stream. Honestly, he's getting consistent people, like, not necessarily talking, but lurking, which is fine. Like, it's not expected that everyone's gonna talk. Like, at the end of the day, I've been on Twitch. I've been watching stuff on Twitch for like upwards of like maybe 6 or 7 years now. I don't think I've made a single comment on any stream before my friends started streaming. It's not expected, and the vast majority of people in streams do not say a single thing. But yeah, he's getting people lurking, and I'm really happy for it. Because he's putting in the work of a definite professional, while also doing work that does not sound fun. But yeah, I tell you what though, getting back to the actual game I'm playing, I'm liking this blimmin' this hand cannon. I think it came out the perfect time to come out with these two new things, because Ricochet and to a certain extent Sentry, the two that have come out, one of them having the ability to allow your attack to ricochet, which deals with crowd control that Pierce would normally deal with, and the other one gets an extra person shooting, which deals with crowd control. So you introduce two ways of mitigating, dealing with having like a low fire rate, high damaged weapon, and then you bring with it the hand cannon that is this low damage rate, high damage, low fire rate weapon. You bring this out with it, and so it's perfect to show off both the gun itself and the new skills. I'd be interested to see if some of the other high-powered weapons would benefit from Ricochet as well. Something like the sniper rifle, which I almost consistently take Pierce on because you need some way of crowd control. Having it that my high-powered sniper rifle bullet can also deal with can also ricochet and deal with them in that way feels like it'd be an interesting way of doing it. I don't know how good it is, but I can't imagine it being too dissimilar to this hand cannon in terms of damage and in terms of maybe the range is better on the sniper. I'm gonna go with this one. But yeah, I think this gun's pretty good. I gotta say, I always rave about this game, but this game is free, by the way. If anyone wants to play this game is free. I strongly recommend you play it, because it's a very good roguelike. Roguelike? I guess it's technically a roguelike. But no, that's just me saying it wrong. It's a Vampire Survivor sort of kind of game. It's a very good one, and it's blimmin' free. Can you believe that? Free. I saw this when I think it was Tiny Teams, which is a Yogscast thing they do, where they show off games that have very small teams making the game. And I watched them play through a playthrough of it. I watched them play through it, and then we brought up that it was free, and I was like, well, I've got to give it a try, right? I've got to give I've got to give it a try. I may as well. It's like having a demo, right? It's like it's gonna get me at least a foot in the door of playing the game, of like, you know, liking it, but having it be free. And so I played it, and immediately I was like, this is the game. This is the game for me. It's kind of a shame, really, because there is another game that I've recently started playing that is... Do I go multi-shot? I don't think I want to go multi-shot. Increasing my damage? I don't think my damage is a problem at the moment. There is another game I played that you could probably put in that comfort game category. But the problem with it is I'm very late in it, and there is a story to the game. It's a roguelike game. And there is a story to it, and I'm pretty far the way through. And I feel like maybe it would feel a bit jarring to play it now. I wish maybe I realised that it's such a good comfort game so early on, but it's a very short game. I only started playing it... like, the other day, like maybe yesterday, and I'm already at the end, what I believe to be the end bit. So... we'll see. We'll see. I might give it a shot, but I don't know. It's hard to dedicate 2 hours to a game that you're not 100% sure that you can... I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure there is 2 hours left of that game to play on the stream. I feel like I'm beating around the bush here, but like, the game that I've been playing recently is called... I think it's called Turnip Does a Bank Robbery. Turnip Boy Does a Bank Robbery. Let me just double check, because I don't want to give you the wrong name. But I believe it's called Turnip Boy Robs a Bank. It's a sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, and it's just a really funny game that has like a load of dialogue. You don't need to have played the previous one to play this one, but it's a really funny game. It's a nice simple roguelike. If you play it on the sort of the casual way, well, that's literally the kind of the plot of it, of the Turnips Commit Tax Evasion, is that the mayor wants you to pay your taxes, and you say no, and you go on a load of missions, and then at the end, and then you find out he's evil. I tried to give that general so you don't get completely spoiled on it, but the game's not exactly like compelling. It's not incredibly compelling story. It's just very funny, like little bits of, like little funny bits of story. Like one of the people, they reference like game of bathwater and stuff in one of them. Somebody, like an artist, makes something for a YouTuber, and then they give them exposure books, which is like, how do I feed my family with this? It's like, you can't. It doesn't pay for anything. It's just exposure. You know, stuff like that, like funny little jokes. It reminds the humor from it reminds me of like old Newgrounds kind of stuff. You know, like your Castle Crashers kinds of style of humor, but like with modern stuff. So it was quite funny. I laughed a couple times with it, and also the gameplay's just pretty good. It's very, very inspired by Enter the Gungeon. I mean, I'm assuming because it's very much like Enter the Gungeon. But it's a short and sweet game. I'm at I think the very end of it, and there's never been a point in it where I felt incredibly like I felt challenged, right, in the game. I've been playing... I'm not very good at these games, so I've played it on what effectively is easy. And the game's been challenging for me, but it's never been, like, insurmountable. I've never been in a situation where I felt there's no way I can beat this. I felt like this is an obvious mistake I've made. And so yeah, I highly rate that. I don't know if I'll play it on stream, but I do think it's a very, very good game. And it's got some funny jokes in it as well. But yeah, I think in terms of comfort game, that's probably the only thing I've added to my list recently. It's mainly just been this and playing some Hearthstone Battlegrounds. But even that's, I don't know, I've been a bit iffy on. I'm really looking forward to there's a game coming out that is a sequel to a game I've put a decent amount of hours in, which is, it's sort of like, it's the same game except it's done from a different sort of perspective, and not in the sense of like you're playing the evil people now. You're playing, like, literally it's gone from like third person to first person. It's blimmin' Helldivers. Helldivers 2 is coming out, and I'm looking forward to it so much. Because that game, Helldivers 1 was so fun to play. I played a lot with my friends, and the aesthetic is hilarious. Very sort of Starship Troopers esque kind of like aesthetic. And so to see it's getting another game for Super Earth, yeah, it's great. To see it getting another game, and the sort of like, not complaint, but like one of the things that occasionally got on my nerves, where I kind of wished that I could see the enemies in more detail and my character in more detail, is kind of being solved because of the changing in perspective. It's interesting because I'm wondering if maybe I'm gonna have a similar opinion to Helldivers 2 as I did with Risk of Rain, where I didn't play the first Risk of Rain, and so I started out with Risk of Rain 2, and I liked it. It was a really, really fun game. But then I played Risk of Rain Returns, and I saw it from the original perspective of it being 2D instead of 3D, and I loved the game so much more. Like, I knew I was going to fail there because I wasn't paying attention, but like, it as a 2D game, Risk of Rain was so much more fun. At least for me, I found it a lot more fun. So I'm just taking a sip. So it'd be interesting to see if I have the same opinion with Helldivers, where either I'm going to really, really like the new perspective, or the new perspective is going to make me appreciate what I liked about the original one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm happy that that's coming up soon. Another game that I think is coming out. Let me just double check. Let me just double check when it's coming out. Oh, I'm hyped as hell. Like, incredibly hyped for it. fuck, that's coming out. That's not got a while. Okay, I thought a game was coming out soon, but it's not coming out even remotely soon. I thought the new Space Marine was coming out soon. God, I was wrong. Never mind. I thought for some reason in my head I was like, it's February, isn't it? Isn't it coming out February? But no, it's coming out blooming September. I don't know why in my head I thought February. But yeah, I can't wait for Helldivers. I'm hoping maybe there'll be some form of a story. Because the missions were really cool. And I really liked the sort of idea of, the idea they're going with where it's like, you're actually actively helping the overarching war, and everyone is, and so you can maybe beat them back. But I think maybe like I'm not saying like a full-on story mode, but a bit more of a story would be interesting to have. I think would be quite fun. But we'll see. Maybe I'm overthinking it, and you actually shouldn't have that in the. Maybe you shouldn't have that kind of thing in the in your game. Maybe it'll make the thing a bit too bad. Speaking of that, though, I do need to give a try the I don't know what it's called, but the Starship Trooper, like, Horde shooter one. I don't remember what its name is. But, like, the Starship Troopers, you're fighting hordes of, bugs and, like, setting up, I guess, sort of setting up bases or, like, defensive points. Is that what it's called? I honestly, I don't know enough about it. I remember it went on early access, I think, early this year. And I never gave it a shot because I watched the Yogscast play it. And I just didn't think it was particularly interesting. Yeah, because when I was watching someone play it, admittedly, I think it was like early this last year, there was like 3 classes, but the 3 classes didn't really give you anything because they hadn't really put in what they did yet. And so it was mainly just you deal with hordes with your basic gun that I think most people had. But I think if that gets a load of classes and it becomes like a lot noticeably like a challenge as well, I think it could be a really interesting game to play. I have heard that. I haven't watched any recent gameplay from it, and I think maybe that's. I mean, obviously, yeah. I'm still gonna wait a bit, but I worry that maybe if it's not getting the attention on the game anymore, that it might have a problem of like when it is done, no one playing it. You know what I mean? It's like at least the people I watch haven't done a video on it since the original video when it came out. Like that's it. None of these other updates have made them go back. And so I worry that maybe this could be the sort of opinion of the general people. Because the game itself, I mean, I'm always a sucker for playing any game that's cooperative, but the game itself looks interesting. And so I want the game to do well. and I want it to get to the full release, and I can see like maybe what they're going for with it. Oh, speaking of like releases and new things, I saw that the Vermintide game has like a beta that you where you do effectively the Left 4 Dead like versus mode, where someone controls the enemy like specials, like a group controls the enemy specials, and then there's another group that runs through it. I don't particularly care for like Vermintide. I've never been particularly good at it. That's what I heard at the very least. I swear I saw something about that. But if they have that in Vermintide, I can only hope they add it to Darktide, because I blimmin' love Darktide, and if they could add that mode to Darktide, I think it would get a lot more play. I definitely play it. And I was never sort of playing PC games back in the day when like Left 4 Dead was like incredibly popular. And so to sort of get like a bit of a resurgence maybe by playing Darktide and seeing how fun it would be to play it like that, I could see that being entertaining. So here's hoping A, I didn't just somehow read an article that was completely wrong about that, or like read a thumbnail or something. It's entirely possible that I saw something about it and it was completely wrong. Or, and B, I hope that they then decide to add that to then add it to Darktide, which I think is more likely. If it is happening and it is popular, I think it's very likely to happen. But I don't know A, how popular it would be, or B, if it even is a thing, and if I've just made that up. But we'll see. So yeah, there's a fair amount of interesting things for games that are coming out this year that I'm decently interested in. I do kind of need to figure out what my next RPG is going to be after Rogue Trader. Now, admittedly, I don't think I'm that far through Rogue Trader at this point. So I think I've got a bit of time on that, especially with it only been weekly. But I could see myself, like, I've sort of got to figure out, I need to sort of have it in scheduled, and I have my backup, right? I have my backup RPG, which will always be Baldur's Gate, which is just always there for like, oh god, there isn't any RPG I particularly want to play at the moment, I'll play some Baldur's Gate on there. But I would very much like there to be like maybe something in a similar style to Rogue Trader in the more CRPG classic sort of way. When's I wonder when Dragon's Dogma's coming out, because that's a potential, right? I keep seeing stuff for it, but I don't know how soon it's coming out. I imagine this year, but I don't know when. If that comes out before I finish Rogue Trader, I probably would give that a shot. Okay, honestly, why did you switch? Is there a particular reason behind this? Is it like you've switched computers or something? Is that actually it? Is it you switched computers and so that's why? It's late. If it's coming out late March, then that's not too bad actually. That could be coming out of that. No, I think I'll be playing the game for longer than that. But it would be coming out, and then I could. It wouldn't have been out for that long by the time I start playing it. I think the thing. Oh, I see. Forgotten passwords. I think one of the things that has maybe put me off Dragon's Dogma, I've heard really good things about it. Well, I think that sort of tangentially goes into what my worry is about Dragon's Dogma and why I maybe won't like it. Is I'm worried that, like, the biggest part for an RPG that gets me really into it is the companions, right? I'll get really into the companions, I'll get really into their story and seeing how they grow. And obviously the base story is very important and very interesting, but like the companion stuff is what gets me hooked, right? Take like Baldur's Gate for example. You can go through that game with like custom characters that you've made, but for the life of me I'd never do that because the companions are what I like. And from what I can gather from the first game, and I'm assuming the second game as well, your companion is just like a slave. Like they say it in a different way, but he's just a slave, right? Like I'm hoping you get some cool stories from the NPCs that are surrounding you. Yeah. Yeah, they are, but then they're not like got a story to them, right? They've not got like any law, like actual proper like character progression or anything. They are there to be like a faceless companion for you. And I'd be slightly worried that it won't hook me because there won't be this cool character to like companion to like to keep me invested in it. Yeah, they're just there to fight the battles for you. Which I think it's an interesting idea, but I worry that maybe it will make me decide to not really want to play it. Yeah, I'm sure they'll occasionally have side characters and stuff. It's just it's interesting. I'm hoping that the characters, the sort of NPCs, the sort of side characters can carry the story more, because that's the bit that gets me hooked. And then the sort of, it's weird, the main quest is kind of secondary to me a lot of the time. So we'll see. I will definitely give it a shot. It will definitely be on my list of things to play. Just because it's going to be the big RPG when it comes out, right? And it'll be an RPG, a big RPG that I haven't played yet. So I think that's the only bit that sort of worries me about it. Is that maybe... Also, just in general, I have a harder time playing sort of real-time RPGs than turn-based ones. I don't have any form of reactions really. Especially ones where you have to control your whole team. I literally brute forced my way through oh, what was it called? There was another RPG I played that was real time. Hold on a second, I'll check my Steam for it. think it began... What was it called? I played one of the... It was Dragon Age. I played one of the... I think it's the latest Dragon Age. And believe me when I say, I just brute forced my way through as a wizard. For the life of me, I do not believe I should have won that game. For the amount of time in that game that I just stood in a single position and just spammed basic attack while also occasionally doing chain lightning, that was most of my game. And so there's a worry to me that maybe that's... I can't... Like, the game... From what I've seen of Dragon's Dogma, it seems pretty difficult. Now, that could just be the people who are playing it now are just putting artificial challenges on themselves. Because I haven't watched a lot of Dragon's Dogma. So it's always just been, like, clips and stuff. But we'll see. I mean, some of the classes that you get access to seem a bit interesting now. It makes me wonder if before playing it I should play the first one. But I think RPGs in general suffer very much from... If they're on the older side, there's a lot of quality of life things that just... You kind of feel like it lessens your experience a lot when you don't have them there. At least for me. And so I'd worry that that'd happen. I will probably have a look at some stuff for it. But we'll see. We will see on that one. What do I want? If I kill, do more damage? Probably. But yeah, I'd like to have a back catalogue of, like, these are the RPGs I'm going to play after I play Rogue Trader. Especially since from what I have heard, I'm worried that there's going to be some blimmin' like game-breaking bug that's going to appear in my save that's going to screw me over. It's those fast ones, they always get me. You know, I watched a couple clips of Rogue Trader, like some of the later bits, and it's surprising how often I see situations where people hit bugs that are like, maybe not game-breaking bugs, but they're bugs where it severely sours your experience. I've sort of come across one already. Like, one of my characters just doesn't show that they have one of the abilities that is the main ability of that class. And it's a passive ability. And I'm not actually sure if he's getting the bonuses from that passive ability because of that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm worried that I'm worried that it's going to lessen my experience of Rogue Trader to the point where I don't want to play it anymore. If there's a situation where I'm in a boss fight or something, right? I defeat the boss, but it glitches, and this is after I've been fighting this boss for a while. Hey, I'm not taking that from blimmin'... What was it? The King of Losers or something that you put on your stream last time. Yeah, exactly. It's literally part of our DNA to be self-deprecating. We're British. That's how it happens. And admittedly, like I can't deal with hard mode. I can only deal with normal mode, which can be arguably easy mode. I saw the like early parts of the last game where you were getting dominated and you were like at most like your team was getting like a kill on them and they were wiping your whole group. And then you kind of had a bit of a comeback, and then yeah, you had a bit of a comeback, and then you just got dealt with. I mean, to a certain extent, like, I'm not trying to put blame on other people, but it is a lot easier. It's a lot easier when you're in a group with other people, I imagine. And you're gonna have those situations. Where you're just gonna get dominated. It's how you learn, right? Failure breeds success, or whatever it is. Yeah, but I'll be honest, like those traps and all that, I was wondering with that it felt like obviously you had your camera and you could put like a trap down and it stunned them. It kind of felt like, were you able to get out of that quick enough to use the stun that you get? Like, how long does the stun last? I liked the idea with that character. I think what puts me off playing Valorant is mainly just the fact that I just think my general first-person shooter skills is not very high. But the game itself looks like they... Like, the game itself looks like it's very entertaining, and I'm watching people play it. Because it occasionally comes up in my YouTube shorts, people playing Valorant. It's like two people, it's Syrian Pine, and then there's this other, like, lady that comes up that... You know what, I'm not going to take fire rate, I'm going to take my gun. That come up that play Valorant, that... It looks fun to play, and it's very chill. Like, obviously it's not... Obviously there is competitive, and so it's not completely comfort, but I could see myself playing that as like a comfort game. But I do not have very good... The problem is I just do not have very good first person shooter like ability. Like, I used to play Call of Duty back in the day. Doesn't surprise me, honestly. There's somebody who's incredibly good at that. It seemed like it was a high skill ceiling one. Like, I used to play Call of Duty back in the day, and it would be a situation where if I got a kill, me and my friends would celebrate. Because it was like, I actually got a kill. And this is by using the most scummy strategy, where it's just a shotgun and then going around a corner and shooting them. And that was me just constantly respawning and being able to, you know, get back in the fight. I can't imagine how I deal with a situation where it's like, oh, you're dead, now you've got like 2 minutes of waiting. I mean, look, I realized that I can actually get quite toxic in competitive games. I learned that from Omega Strikers. I would also slightly worry that I would become very toxic. Yes. Like, that's... that is actually a problem I think I might have. Like, I feel like maybe... in general, I don't think I'm particularly toxic, but I think if you rub me the wrong way, I feel like I'd go off on one that I do not want to put out into the world. What a rookie mistake there. Okay, yeah, high damage ricochet does work. Cool. I thought there was a chance this would work. I wanted to give it a shot instead of just taking fire rate again. But yeah, I don't think I'll play that game. I don't think I'll play Valorant, but I do feel like maybe I should play. Maybe something like that would, something similar to that might be interesting to play. I don't know. I'm not great at choosing a game that takes me out of my comfort zone, and first-person shooters, like competitive first-person shooter, is not my comfort zone. Arguably, it's the exact opposite. It's like doing badly at like strategic turn-based games. That's my my thing. But hey, maybe I'll give it a shot at some point. We'll see. I considered going back and playing, speaking of like strategic turn-based games, I considered going back and playing like one of the other sort of battlegrounds that is still around. Oh yeah, Real Time's horrendous. I once tried to play StarCraft 2 against I was scratching my nose there and just got shot. I tried to play StarCraft 2 with like a quick game with like one of my friends, and I did horrendously. I don't think I can't multitask. Yeah, oh no, you can't do matchmaking. Everyone that's playing StarCraft 2 right now are professionals. Like the best of the best are the only people still playing. There is no way that there's anyone playing that game that isn't already like a pro, or is hoping to get to pro level. If you wanted to do StarCraft 2 matchmaking, the only way that's possible is if you were incredibly good at the game, or if you started like blimmin' 20 years ago or something in StarCraft 1. It's like, there's this new game being made by, I think it's being made by former Blizzard employees. I think it's called Stormgate. And it's effectively like a spiritual successor to the StarCraft games. And it looks really cool, and I'm glad that they're doing a bit of an emphasis on co-op. But believe me when I say, there is not a chance I'm getting into 1v1s and that. I don't care if there's some people playing it that aren't incredibly good at it. I do not want to be in a situation. First off, I'm not very good at real time. and then you put me in a situation where there's a chance I go up against a blimmin' pro. I'm good, thanks. I'm good. That was just me. That was a rookie mistake, but I think the whole headcanon just going heavy ricochet is the way to go. I think that showed off that is the way to go. It's stuff like that. But the thing that gets me with StarCraft games like that is more the one where it's like a minute into it, no, maybe even 30 seconds into it, your workers are immediately getting attacked by like a small group. You go to deal with that, it doesn't matter. You've spent the time dealing with that, and they've already gotten ahead of you in the build order. And you get to 2 minutes, and then they've constantly been harassing you while building, and come at you with a huge army and immediately defeat you. That's what gets me. Oh, I accidentally hit normal. Hold on a second. No. I want to play on hard. But yeah, that's the bit that gets me, and I will definitely I will definitely play that game, and I will definitely play through the co-op of that game. What I won't do is probably ever go into the competitive. Ever. So I'm really hoping that they'll maybe not focus the co-op, but have it at least getting consistently new things. Because one of the... Oh, one second, let me put the music back on. One of my favorite things to play in StarCraft is the co-op commander. Okay, I'm not having Christmas music on. Is the co-op commander. I absolutely love the co-op commander. Just being able to play with like a bunch of units that are like goofy, and you have cool special abilities that make it so you can do cool stuff. With all these specializations that come with it. So much fun. And if I can have that in another game, I'd be a huge fan. Honestly, speaking of StarCraft and Blizzard in general, I am quite interested to see what happens, if anything, with the sort of merger with Microsoft. I'd just be interested to see if... like that we'll see any form of that change anytime soon. I've got a feeling we probably won't. Because I think I heard somewhere for example, like Overwatch, the next like 3 or 4 seasons have already been planned out before he left, and so the only time they'll be able to like add like major changes will be after that fact. So I feel like there's a chance that maybe they can do some like tweaking and make it into a funner game. Because if that game became like... If people were saying that game has had a resurgence and it was doing better, I would hop onto that game in a heartbeat. In absolute heartbeat, just to play it. Because that is more my style of first-person shooter. The one that, even if maybe I don't do well in the aspect of like actually being that good at shooting, I can help my group with abilities that maybe changes the whole thing. If I can help my group in some way, it's actually why, interesting enough, recently I've been trying to go with more of the support style, just to see if, like, just the idea that I can help my group in some capacity. Oh, I just got completely locked down there. Just because it means I can help the group in some way, which I think is a huge benefit. So I think in co-op stuff I've been going support a lot more. Yeah, I think of these abilities that have come, I think my favorite by far has been Ricochet. I think Ricochet's like my maybe my new favorite ability. I don't know. I think that we're in a interesting time where I think a lot of big companies are being... what's the word? I guess they're being exposed for what the actual... How do you explain this? They're being exposed for what are practices that every big company do, but normally is swept under the rug because their games are good. But like now it's in the like view of the average person because they've had consistently bad decisions over time. I'm thinking like not just Blizzard in this aspect, because with the advent of Blizzard like showing off that yeah they'd have loads of horrendous like practices that are unbecoming of like what most people consider you should be doing, like incredible amounts of overtime for like just to complete something on time, but they're insane conditions, to like the more egregious ones that just shouldn't be a thing in ever, but like absolute like incredible amounts of harassment and stuff. I think it's gotten to the point where I kind of feel like I'm not going to say it's the death of like big companies, but I do feel like there used to be a bit more of a stranglehold on definitely console releases and stuff by like big game companies, and now it feels like they're losing that a lot because I think the general public are realizing, oh shit, there's this game that's like half the price that does pretty much the same amount as this AAA game is, and they have a group that is like listens to the general populace, and they're realizing that what they're getting from the AAA developers is not something they need to get with. I think it might have been with the increase of like video computer games being like a big thing, because with that came Steam, and with Steam came like an open platform for anybody to make a game and get it released easily. And I know computers have been around for like as long as consoles have been around, but it's noticeable now because, well, I say now, I mean in recent history it's noticeable because it's just becoming more and more common for like your kid to ask you not for a Xbox or a PS3, god that shows my age, for like a PS, what is it, 5 now? But instead to ask you for, I want a gaming computer or something, you know? Yeah, I'm an old man. God, every day I get reminded of that. Back in my day, you had a physical disc and it cost 30 quid. You remember those times? I do. The old streamer remembers when it would cost blimmin' 30 quid. I remember when it went up to 40 and everyone was like, blimmin' hell, that's expensive. And now it's what, like, how much is it for a AAA game nowadays on release? Is it like 70 quid? I think it's something like that. Yeah, it's 50 to 70, but it feels like nowadays if you get it for 50, you're like, damn, that's cheap. Most of the time it's 60, and I think nowadays it's leaning towards 70. It's insane, honestly. And then people, because of that, have come to Steam and stuff, and they've realised that they can get a decent game. Like, I'm playing this, and this is free, and this is a decent game. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's insane. That Pal World that, like, blimmin' 4 million people have bought or something, that was like top and concurrent players for like I think yesterday. That was only 22 quid. That's cheaper than what games used to be back in my day. And sure, it's not a complete product, but honestly, some AAA products nowadays aren't complete products on release. Nope, I'm not listening to Christmas. I know this from other YouTubers and streamers. That's funny. That's pretty funny. No, but it is insane to me. I think the best decision I ever made was deciding to go to PC. Yeah, that's the thing. You know what's insane is I was using a different website to get my copyright free music, and the reason I stopped using it was because it got actually copyright struck. I don't know how you say that. It had a copyright thing on it, right? It muted it. And when that happened, I was like, well, I'm never using this playlist again. But yeah, like, I know people always say, like, PC Master Race and all that, but blimmin' hell, like, some of the things you get from being on a PC is incredible. I mean, I could buy myself a Nintendo Switch, right? It's cheaper than buying a gaming PC. It's what, like 300 quid or something? Which is, it's a lot. Then you buy your games that are probably like, what, 50 to, as you said, 50 to 70, probably around, I think it's a bit cheaper on Switch. But you're getting like PS3 sort of like graphics. PS3 era graphics. With your game. Whereas I could come on this and can get games that are like honestly better than that for cheaper, and there's just such a large catalogue. I think it's the catalogue that gets me. If I want to play an RPG and I'm on an Xbox, well, that's actually a bad example because they now have Game Pass. But like, if I was on like if I want to play an RPG and I'm on a PS5, say, there is not a lot of RPGs I can play. Especially compared to the amount of RPGs I could play on this. Now I wonder if I take this, does it add that to my ricochets I already have? Because if it doesn't, it might be worth me taking one of these other ones instead. You would assume, right? I'm going to keep an eye on it. there's no way of keeping an eye on whether that's ricocheting more than blimmin' 9 times. But yeah, I'm so glad that I got into this. Honestly, what's hilarious is you can thank my friend who just hit 50 followers for that. He's the reason. For me playing PC games. Oh, did you see that Palworld already has a mod that turns it into Pokemon? It like turns the main character into Ash Ketchum and turns all of the pals into different kinds of Pokemon. Yeah, I saw a clip of it already, which is insane. Also, I love that. I wonder how long it's going to take for people to not associate Pokemon with Ash Ketchum and instead whoever the new person is. I wonder how long that'll take. Because he's not in the show anymore. He's done. Like, they've had a show that's gone on for like... I don't know how many episodes it is now, but... But like, do you reckon it honestly will be like... in the like... people will think Ash Ketchum for that long? I'd agree with you with Pikachu, but maybe I think maybe Ash Ketchum might die in like 10 years. I think it's very dependent on, one, if Pokemon stays relevant, and two, if like the generation that comes after, like the generation that's watching the show as a kid right now, like really likes the character. Because there's a chance they just change the character again for the next series. You know what I mean? It's like... we'll see. I honestly think it was probably a mistake to get rid of Ash Ketchum anyway. Because there was like... there's no reason why they can't just continually use him over and over again. I don't think anyone particularly cared that he'd succeeded. Nobody remembered that he was like famous in every other region when he goes to the new region. I've also heard that they finally did the epilogue for the actual game, you know, the Scarlet and Violet, which I think is quite cool. I don't know if they did that in the last game, but the fact that they did an epilogue for the 2 DLCs that sort of takes the 2 DLCs and links them together is kind of cool. I mean, they were already slightly linked together, but to link them more is kind of cool. I'm never a big fan of DLC, so I always buy the base Pokemon game, but I never buy any of the DLCs. But yeah, I do think you know what's weird is Palworld made me want to go and try and play Temtem. You know, the old sort of Pokemon, effectively Pokemon game that was made on Steam. Like, it made me want to scratch that itch of playing Pokemon, but like playing like a different concept on Pokemon. And so I was like, part of me wanted to just play like a ROM hack or something of Pokemon that does something unique. But then the other part of me was like, or I could just play like Temtem or something, where it's Pokemon, but it's not really Pokemon. Or maybe that, oh, what's it called? There was like a Digimon game that came out like maybe last year. That I was like, that looked interesting. I think it was called like Cyber Sleuths or something. I'd honestly give that maybe a shot. I've never been a huge fan of Digimon, but I'd give it a shot to see. Just to see if like maybe they do like the Pokemon format, but in a way that's interesting. Well, I'm not gonna say interesting, different, because that implies that the Pokemon format is not interesting, which it is quite interesting for me at the very least. I wish they would just stop adding new mechanics though. I think that's my sort of pet peeve. Because some of them do really well, some of them I really like. But then some of them are just like there was one where you Dynamax your person, and it was like, that was so boring. Like seriously, it was the most boring mechanic. And then there was like Z moves, and that was incredibly boring. Occasionally there's hits like Mega Evolutions that were fun. But this newest one was so boring as well. And like game breaking as well. It's never fun when they add a mechanic that's just game breaking for the competitive scene. I was when I was watching some of that Goblins series, the DM in it, Brett, uses like voice changes and stuff for some of his characters and stuff. And there was one he used for a Modron. You know, there's little robots with one eyes. And that really made me want to figure out how to do that, just to see if I could use it for like a robot character or something. I don't know if I don't know about how I feel about like physically changing my voice for a character, but I feel like it'd be cool to try. Yeah, I've considered it, right? Because I don't think I'm very good at voices. And I feel like my characters very quickly, both in voice and personality, become just me. And so the idea that I could maybe use a voice mod to make it so I can put more like, make it more obvious that I'm playing a character now. This is me playing a character, and then this is me like talking to you out of character, right? Would be interesting to do. I'll have to look into it. I will try. I probably will pick that up, just to have a look, or at the very least have a look at it, like some reviews and stuff on it. Anyway, I've gone like a couple minutes long, but that doesn't really matter. But this is me done for today. I hope you've liked it. I've had a lot of fun. We got 2 new people. One of them was another one of the overlay people. I wish them the best. I feel like I say this all the time, but I wish them the best, but I don't want anything. Another person doesn't seem to be an overlay person. I wish them the best. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble now, so I'll just end it here. I hope you've liked it, and wish you the best. See ya.